Hey there, ladies. What's up? How are you today? How's it going? Hopefully, you are feeling these same amazing energy vibes that I am. I'm just so excited. Plus, it's Friday, so I got those cool Friday vibes going on. But, anyways, I thought I would just quickly pop on. I wanted to tell you a little bit about gut health, right? That's a really huge thing that I'm seeing with so many of my clients these days. Whether they used to have bad gut health, maybe they've got poor health in their gut now, or they're like, I didn't even know I had an unhealthy gut. Okay, so we talk a lot about gut health mainly because our gut is like our second brain, right? We have one brain here, we have one brain in our gut, and then I personally believe that we have our heart brain, and all three brains send us different signals and do different things, okay? So, as a mindset coach, right, this brain, uber powerful. As a holistic health coach, our gut health, super powerful. And then as an empowerment, like a woman who wants every woman to feel empowerment, I always encourage all of my clients to dive deep and ask what their heart and wants, what their soul wants to be doing, right? All three brains have a lot of wisdom, and it's our jobs to simply listen to it. But I just wanted to kind of, pop on today and talk about how we can heal our gut and why it is so important. But before I kind of talk about that, you may not know you have gut health issues, right? Some of the symptoms for an unhealthy gut is simple things like joint health, right? Our joints hurt. Maybe it's eczema or acne or brain fog or acid reflux. Some bigger issues, a little bit bigger issues, because sometimes we can deal with that, right? We take maybe some cream for the eczema. We have a high-end, face wash, or gosh, it's like leaving my mind, a hygiene, a nice hygiene process. Sometimes that brain fog, you guys are like, oh my gosh, I just can't, get it done, or I can't stay focused. But you just, you deal with those. Those are the things that we guys kind of deal with. But some other bigger issues is the constant bloating, or maybe the poor sleep. Extreme fatigue is huge, especially as someone who has Hashimoto's. A lot of my clients have autoimmune diseases, and they complain that they're so incredibly exhausted. They can't even get out of bed some days. Another big thing that we don't sometimes realize that our relates to our gut health is the mood swings. So maybe your partner's always like, you know what, you are high, you're low, get your shit together, right? And if you've ever been told that, that actually just makes you more mad, right? You're like, wait a minute. So you guys, gut health does have everything to do with how our body is operating, okay? Between simple things like the acne, the eczema, the mood swings, the being tired all the time, the not being able to stay focused and productive. And I don't know about you, but I'm a high performing woman, right? I need my energy. I need to be able to focus. I need to be able to be disciplined. I need to stay, focused on my health goals. I have to show up for myself, all those things. And as someone who used to, struggle with major depression, gut health is huge. So quick backstory, in 2019, I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's. Hashimoto's is an autoimmune disease, and it's a thyroid issue. So a lot of women here have thyroid issues, but I had no idea that I was living with all of these symptoms my entire life. Okay, so some things just that were happening down below was that I was literally going to bathroom number 2. I was pooping literally once every 8 to 9 days. And I thought that was normal. I thought me walking around feeling bloated and crampy all the time was just something that was like my body, right? And I used to accept that. Yeah, this is just how I feel all the time. Until, my nutritionist a long time ago, about 9 years ago, he said, Carissa, that's not normal. That's not healthy. So I'm here to tell you that if that's you, that's not normal and that's not healthy. Okay. The opposite, right? Maybe you go to the bathroom all the time. Maybe you can't keep anything in. That's not normal either. So we want healthy stools, right? Healthy pooping habits. But yeah, that was a normal thing for me. But in 2019, when I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's, my hair was falling out. Like I had bald spots. My eyebrows were damn near gone. I had eczema all over. Now, as a child, I had it on my arms and behind my legs, and my mom would just rub like really like steroid cream on it. And if it was open, then it burned like hell. And then if I didn't, if I didn't stay on top of the lotion, but really that's a food thing and that's a gut thing. If you've got a lot of skin issues, it's a lot of food, it's a lot of gut stuff. Okay. Not only was my hair falling out and my gut, my pooping was a hot mess, but the eczema was all over, but I had just came down with a case of shingles all over my eyes. It was like, oh my God, right? And this was right in the pandemic, so like nobody could see me. So that we would be doing like Zoom, like telehealth calls, and they're like, that actually looks like shingles. And I'm like, what? Right? Like it was just crazy. My body was literally so pissed off at me. It was every red flag was going off. Every red flag. And when I went and finally saw my holistic medicine doctor, he literally, after I filled out those 20-page intake form, he was like, I bet you have Hashimoto's just looking at your symptoms, right? You have low sex drive. You're cold and hot all the time. You're sweating even when you are cold. You have eczema all over. Your energy is low. Your hair is falling out. Like all of these things, he was finally able to piece it together and say, hey, you know what? You actually have X. And now that we know that, we can treat it. Okay. But I bring this up because it's that, that autoimmune is really heavily tied to how unhealthy my gut was. So I hopped on a shit ton of supplements that were so expensive, and I had just filed for divorce, and so I was really living back on a budget again. I had, and so when he said like, yeah, all these supplements, like it was like $500 a month. It was ridiculous, but I needed it because my eyes were itchy, like everything, right? My hair was, I was like, oh my God. So I took them and sure did I get better a little bit, like normal, but then it stopped working. And so he was like, okay, now we're going to try acupuncture, right? Because that can be a holistic way. And I'm like, okay, because I didn't want to be on medication. I did not want to take any type of medication for a thyroid. I'm kind of like anti-medication. If there's a holistic way, I will try it first. There's a place for prescription drugs. Do not get me wrong, right? Prescription drugs kept my mom alive for many, many years when she probably shouldn't have, right? So I get it. I trust it. I need it, right? Like we need it. But so many people jump straight to prescription drugs versus healing what they're going through holistically. Okay. So I always take the holistic approach. But yeah, so that's a little, I just kind of want to give you like a backstory about my unhealthy gut and all the different things that I tried to get my gut back in check, right? To get it functioning again. Because our gut health affects everything, remember? Mind, body, emotional, everything. So yeah, I have learned to put my Hashimoto's into remission. I truly believe that. My hair is growing back. I have eyebrows. Like it's now a work in progress of just like getting that stuff back. But it's my healthy lifestyle habits that truly allow me to say that I'm in remission. I don't take any medication for my thyroid. I take a few supplements to help with gut health and my microbiome. But other than that, I'm good, right? Like I'm good. So I just wanted to pop in and give you 3 easy ways that you can start healing your gut. So if you're tired of feeling bloated, if you've got mood swings, if you're exhausted, if you're eczema or you have acne all over, right? Like it's not just sometimes about who you are. Okay, sometimes there's a deeper thing going on in your body. So 3 ways to specifically heal your gut that are very easy that anyone can start doing. Number 1, getting your stress levels down. Stress produces cortisol. I know you guys have heard that, okay? But cortisol affects everything, right? It throws off a lot of our hormones. So you running around stressing out about everything, or lying to yourself that says, yeah, I'm not that stressed out all the time, but you've just learned to cope with it. That's a coping mechanism. When kind of, yeah, anyways, I'm not going into that. But yeah, so stress affects everything, right? It affects our digestion, it affects our gut health, it affects our hormones, it affects how we make decisions. Stress affects how we operate, how we sleep. Like, stress is a no-no, right? So we've got to learn to lower our stress levels. And we have to get that cortisol, those health, there's some healthy cortisol, right? Some stress is good stress, but chronic stress, not good, especially not good for the gut health. So some tips and tools that I teach my clients how to do, how to counterbalance the stress. Because stress is never going to go away completely. If that is the expectation, then we're setting ourselves up to fail. Okay. So I just kind of want to say, like, let's not put the expectation that, like, you're going to eliminate every bit of stress out of your life. But as a recovering stressaholic, right, I know how important it is to manage my stress better. So this is what I teach some of my clients, right? Well, first off, they know who they're being when they're stressed out. So we kind of get a good figure with the stress levels that they experience. But we counterbalance that with breath work, with meditation, with grounding exercises, with activities that bring us joy, laughter, and love. Okay, so like self-care activities. Okay, so women need to learn how to just sit with themselves within their own mindset and not stress out. Okay, so again, start small with stress. Okay, we need to learn how to go from a sympathetic nervous system, like always on, fight or flight, stress the hell out, to switching into our body with the parasympathetic nervous system, that parasympathetic part of our body. And when we do breath work, when we do meditation, when we do grounding exercises, when we laugh, right, when we're happy, it switches us out of stress and into the relaxed part. And when we're relaxed, guess what? We're burning fat. Our bodies are doing what they need to do. We're digesting food properly, etc. We're even able to pull in nutrients when we are not so stressed. So you guys, simple little things like breathwork, meditation are huge. Every single day I make it a point to, I have my spiritual practice in the morning, and then my afternoon I have just like grounding exercises to bring me back down to relax Carissa. Okay? Tip number two, lower your caffeine. Yes, I said it. Most of my clients are drinking way too much caffeine. Okay. A lot of them have just taken a pre-workout because they work out in the mornings, right? And then they get into the office and they start brewing the coffee, and, the Keurig's dripping, and they cup after cup after cup after cup. Okay. If that's you, like, give me something in the chat right now. Like, let me know. And Yolanda, yes, exercise is like my therapy. It definitely, like, there are days where I will get a second workout in because I need those happy endorphins. So there's lots and lots of ways, but I'm just giving you some easy, helpful tips to help lower your stress levels for sure. I love that you're dropping in the chat all the things that you do to de-stress. Have you ever done meditation or grounding exercises or anything like that? I would love to know. Okay, so where was I? Oh, lowering our caffeine, right? So if you're the one who's constantly drinking caffeine to keep you going throughout the day, and then maybe you turn to wine at night to unwind, this is the tip for you, right? So when I developed Hashimoto's, he asked me how much coffee I was drinking, and in 2019. I had just left my corporate job as the marketing and HR director, very high level stress job, to be a coach, right? Full-time coach. And so my stress levels were high and I was constantly exhausted because I was coaching at night and I was working my full-time job. Okay. So the coffee constantly streamed all the time. Plus I love the flavor of coffee. Well, I recognize that coffee is high inflammatory. It's like a super high inflammatory drug for your gut. So less caffeine, more water. Okay, so if that's you, take 3 cups down to 2 cups down to 1 cup, and one, coffee's not bad. Remember, it's the extreme. I was drinking 6, 7, 8 cups before 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay, and then I'd go to a networking meeting at 6. I'd be like, I better grab another cup of coffee to get through another couple of hours. And then I would go to wine at night because I think that would make me relax, but my sleep was a hot mess. So I'm telling you, I've changed my life full 360 since 2012, since I started losing weight. But okay, so lower your caffeine. That can help start to heal your gut, and drink more water instead. And let's be honest, we can all be drinking way more water anyways. That would be a good little tip for anyone. The third thing, leafy greens, right? Leafy greens, dark leafy greens are filled with fiber. Okay, so the more fiber you can add to your diet, the better. Fiber goes into your gut and gets turned into short chain fatty acids, and short chain fatty acids feed the good gut bacteria in your microbiome. And I'm not going to go sciencey on you. There's plenty of things out there that I could teach you on as far as like good gut bacteria, bad gut bacteria. My microbiome was completely effed when I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's. So I've had to learn how to re-eat. Right? So along with that, I went and got all of my food sensitivity tests done because I was like, how can I heal myself naturally without the medication? He's like, well, let's take a look at your diet. And I'm like, I obviously eat clean, right? Like I'm in the best shape of my life. I was literally walking around 12% body fat woman. And he's like, yes, but it's the food that you're putting into your body. So that's when I started to get a lot of, I dug into foods and the different foods that are good and bad for my body. Okay, carbs and gluten, not bad for everyone, bad for me. So after my sensitivity tests came back, it lit up like normal, right? Like a lot of women. There's gluten, there's soy, there's eggs, there's dairy. So a lot of the main things that I was eating, right? Greek yogurt was an everyday food prepped item for me. Greek yogurt, and then I had to ditch that. Boiled eggs, where I would eat 4 or 5 a day, had to get rid of that, right? The dairy, like in cheese and all kinds of things. So I learned so much about myself with my diagnosis, and I am grateful for it, right? Because I definitely do eat cleaner. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. But it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be better than it was yesterday. So leafy greens, add them, right? As much as you can. So sometimes for breakfast, I'll get a whole pile of raw spinach and I'll just eat it. And yes, I know I don't look like a rabbit, but I actually like that. I prefer my spinach in the morning uncooked. I love salad, and not because it's healthier, but I love salad, right? I put almost every kind of vegetable in my salad, so I eat a lot of that. But dark greens, right? I ditched the iceberg lettuce. I barely put any romaine lettuce anymore because I've noticed that at the store, like the romaine lettuce is like getting more and more white, and then just barely the top is dark green. So I just go for the big box of mixed greens. It's got arugula, spinach, like all kinds of yumminess in those boxes. So, and it's easy, right? It's been washed already, so why not press the easy button. But all right, I could keep talking all about this, but I wanted to keep it somewhat short today, which I didn't do. I apologize. I hope you did enjoy though this. And really, I don't want you to feel overwhelmed. So if you need to do a gut reset, right? I have 21-day cleanses where we're actually eating healthy food. We're going to figure out those foods that are triggering your body's symptoms. So I have 21-day cleanses that I put my clients on. But honestly, you guys, you could just start with one of these habits alone, right? Stress is a huge factor for so many things. So that would be a great place to start. All right. As usual, drop your favorite aha takeaway that you're going to take away from today's live training down below. Let me know what your favorite parts were. And don't forget, you guys, on July 1st, we are kicking off our 31-day Healthy Habits Challenge. It's 31 days of me holding you accountable to a healthier way of living mentally, physically, and emotionally. This challenge will help you create healthier habits that support nutrition, fitness, less stress, and of course, mindset work. So to get signed up for this free challenge, just go ahead and drop an I'm in below, and then I will add your name to my list. But other than that, ladies, I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful day. Get outside, move your body, stress less.